And we got the main event in this next fight. I guess it's not the main event, but if someone can explain to me how this fight is not the main event, how Chris Barnett's not the champ right now and Hamdy's not fighting for the belt, put it down in the comments, man, because I don't get it. But amazing fight right here. Chris Barnett and Hamdy Abdelwahab. Chris Beast Boy Barnett, he hasn't fought in over a year. And his last fight, he came back too quick. He blew out his Achilles, which, if you watch any pro sports, you know that's like a terrible injury, even for like a pro basketball player or something. So it seemed like he had no movement, and he ended up kind of just crumbling. And Kennedy got an easy victory there, and even in his other loss, he had an injury as well in that one. In the win over Jake Collier, it seemed like he had like something going on with his face, even though he was able to turn it around and get a pretty sweet comeback in that fight. But yeah, 39 years old. I mean, it doesn't seem like Chris Barnett keeps himself in the best shape. So injuries are really prone to happen, whether they're in the fight or he sustains them and then comes into the fight anyways. But that's why he's just an extremely difficult fighter to trust. But you can't totally discredit him because he's had over 30 pro fights. He's fought a ton of different styles. He's fought huge guys. He's fought smaller guys. And he's kind of seen everything. And then himself, he has a really crazy style. So it keeps him at least somewhat viable. That's why he has 2 wins in 5 UFC fights. But he's taking on a guy in Hamdy who only has 6 total fights, 4 wins. And he just had the complete opposite approach to getting into the UFC in comparison to Barnett. He was a high-level amateur wrestler, transitioned MMA, was having difficulty finding fights because people knew of his wrestling background and had to kind of fight bare knuckle fights in a weird route. But he got to the UFC at 3-0, and he definitely wasn't ready because he's looked horrible in the UFC. He had a steroid suspension where he got his 1 win overturned and then had to have like a 2-year layoff. But now he's back. He took the loss to Muhammad Usman his last fight, and I think, basically whoever loses this fight is going to be cut from the UFC. But, I mean, Barnett has a chance because Hamdy's just not very evasive. He's going to be pressuring into Barnett. Barnett's going to try to land the overhands. He's going to be throwing the crazy kicks. And if he could survive, he might be able to catch Hamdy with something when both fighters are tired. I think if Barnett gets clipped earlier, put on his back, a first round finish for Hamdy is definitely on the table. And Hamdy probably has good enough pressure, durability, and conditioning to get a finish in the second or third or even take a decision. I don't trust Hamdy at all as a big favorite here. You could tell like my breakdown was very minimal, but chasing value with Chris Barnett, it's kind of ludicrous. But give me Hamdy by knockout. I think he can get on top, maybe take Barnett out of there, but I don't know, man. I got a feeling that Chris Barnett might be able to pull the upset here, but I'm going to roll with Hamdy. I think it's a total pass from a betting perspective. And, yeah, that's what I got for you on this one.